over this period, we have the Wesak full moon, which will be full here in Australia tomorrow. And at this time also we have a lunar eclipse, a full lunar eclipse coming up. And it's a Scorpio full moon. So Scorpio is very much associated with the deep mysteries of life. Those mysteries that may be hidden from us at the moment. And each year in May for the Scorpio full moon, it's the celebration of Wesak. And in many Asian countries, they actually have a holiday for the Wesak full moon, because this is the time when Buddhists celebrate the birth, enlightenment, and death of Gautama Buddha. And of course, from his life and the inspirations and teachings that the Gautama Buddha left, the Buddhist religion was then developed. And of course, many branches of that have developed as well, which seems to be the way with humankind, that differing opinions take different lineages, different paths, different slants and traditions. I'm not a Buddhist. In fact, I don't consider myself a religious person, but I do consider myself absolutely committed to the spiritual awakening, to understand and imbibe the I Am presence. However, the great masters who have come and left us such incredible legacies, like the Buddha and like the Christ figure as well, have left amazing pointers for us and deep and profound guidance to help us along our way. And this time of Wesak is a reminder to us, really, for those of us who are committed to living awake, living in peaceful presence, living with a heart awakening, so that we are living as the I Am presence through this physicality, this wonderful, wonderful body, with all its gifts and all its challenges, with the faculty of mind that's available, with all its gifts and all its challenges, with the emotional body, again, with all its gifts and all its challenges. But knowing ultimately that we are not the body, we are not the mind, we are not the emotions that come and go, and the commotions that that emotional body goes through, that we are the one thing that is unchanging, that we are the one thing that is not born and does not die. And coming to this understanding, of course, means that all our beliefs and attachments, our cravings and our aversions have to fall away, so that we can be naked, in a sense, to be able to be with what is in any given moment, and undisturbed by the winds of the senses, the mind and the emotional bodies. So the Buddha, through the beautiful story. I'm not sure if you've read the story of Gautama Buddha. Hermann Hesse's book is a wonderful, wonderful book to read. And such an easy read. I really recommend that you all read that. Just trying to think of the title of that, actually. Hermann Hesse.
Siddhartha.
Siddhartha, thank you. That's right. It's just, I mean, I read it probably, 30 years ago or something, but I just remember it was a powerful story and an easy story to read, but with such a powerful message. And of course, he was born into a princely kingdom, and he was to be king with a queen. He had a son already, and his father, the king at the time, kept him within the confines of that palace and protected from all pain, all suffering, all old age. Only beautiful and wonderful young, vibrant people were allowed to be around him, and he was showered with gifts and jewels. And then one day he went outside the palace against his father's wishes, and he saw that people were suffering. He saw old age, he saw poverty, and saw the plight of humanity outside the palace walls, which sang to his heart. And then he began his quest. He left the palace, left his wife and child and family and all his riches, and went on a quest to find the answer to human suffering. And very much so, our lives can be very similar. Of course, we might not have been born as princes and princesses, but each and every one of us has experienced some form of suffering. Each and every one of us has seen some of our loved ones suffer, perhaps experience poverty, perhaps experience emotional trauma and loss and grief, perhaps experience deep physiological pain through disease. So we understand that when we are attached to this human experience and the way we would like it to be, that we all suffer in one way or another. So this time of Wesak is a time to remind us that we can accept all of this and still live a full and amazing life. And we don't need to suffer. It is our resistance, perhaps I could say, to allowing life to unfold organically, because we have our own idea of how life should look, how it should be. We resist anything that doesn't bring us happiness or joy. Yet there is this wonderful neutral place where we can rest, knowing that the physical body will at times suffer, that the emotional body, when resisting what is happening, will experience hurt and pain and the grief of loss. But if there's a deep faith and a deep understanding that all is unfolding in a way that offers us an opportunity for deeper insight, for greater compassion, for deeper love, then that resistance falls away. And instead, there is a flow. We have this sense of flow within us. And sometimes that is easier than others, particularly when we are losing a loved one, whether that's through separation or whether that's through the physicality, the physical presence of sickness or distance, perhaps. Very often it's difficult to watch someone we love suffer. Yet when there's this deep surrender, and we can only do that when it happens. It's not something we can anticipate or expect. But as we move through life and we see time and time again that something may fall away, that something else fresh will grow from the roots of that understanding that came from that experience. And that through suffering, through loss, a deeper wisdom can be born. And that wisdom is the wisdom of allowing, of being without resistance. So in the light of that, I thought we'd have a meditation tonight to tune in to the cosmic energies that are always available, but heightened at this time of Wesak. It is said that in the Wesak Valley in the Himalayas, that the masters appear in etheric form and beam down goodwill and deep knowledge at this time each year. And perhaps if we tune in to those etheric, to that etheric goodwill, to those beautiful vibrations that are being made available at this time, that will help our hearts to awaken, to heal, and to drop perhaps into more profound presence. Because in the moment, when we are fully and absolutely present, there is no past. The story, his story, doesn't exist. And our projections into an imagined future also don't exist. The only thing is to simply be in the moment. So let us just be together at this time with our hearts open, our minds open, without any expectation, just resting in presence. So making your body comfortable now. Okay, so let's sit comfortably. Make any adjustments. You might like to have your feet on the floor, or if you're sitting cross-legged, sit in such a way that your legs, buttocks, and pelvis is comfortable. So that the spine is upright and the back is supportive with the spine. The shoulders are relaxed. The arms are loose. And the hands are resting comfortably, either on the thighs or in the lap. Be aware of the face. Let the eyelids close. If you feel to keep them open, that's okay too, but without any focus. Just a soft, open-eyed, blank expression, or closed. Feel the crown is lifting skyward gently, so that the spine is long from the tailbone up through the center of the back, and that line right up to the top of the head. Take a breath in and take a long, slow breath out, relaxing into the body. And take another couple of breaths in this way, softening with the out breath, letting the shoulders soften, the abdomen soften, the whole face softening. And then let the breath continue naturally. Take the awareness to the crown of the head. And notice any sensation at all over the crown. The forehead, softening across the forehead and the brow. Feel the eyeballs relaxing in the sockets, soft eyelids. Be aware of the cheeks, let them fall and soften. The lips slightly closed, but let the jaw relax so that the teeth fall slightly apart. Allow the tongue to soften and fall down into the mouth. And feel the tongue relaxing all the way back into the throat. Allow the awareness to melt down into the shoulders. Feeling the shoulders relaxing away from the neck. And follow that line from the shoulders down through the arms, softening hands, fingers, and feel the palms of the hands. Sense the prana or the vital force or energy in the palms. Bring the awareness into the chest. Notice the movement of the lungs deep in the chest. And the movement of the rib cage, expanding, contracting around the lungs. Feel the diaphragm under the lungs and the movement of the diaphragm with the breath. Relax the belly. Let the abdomen soften from inside. And feel that softening all the way down into the pelvis. Notice any sensations in the back and the spine. And the sensation of the buttocks and thighs against the chair. The legs, thighs, soft knees, calves and shins, ankles and feet. Checking the abdomen is soft. The shoulders are soft. The tongue and throat relaxed. And soften the forehead and brow. Hold a gentle awareness of the whole body. Be aware of any bodily sensations that may be drawing attention. And simply accept those sensations exactly as they are. Without any resistance at all. If there's discomfort, soften around that discomfort. All is welcome here. releasing any resistance to what is. And now allowing the awareness to move beyond the body, so that there is a sense of openness or expanded presence. Acceptance of the whole experience as a state of being present and open to this moment. And if thought arises, let it pass by. If you notice a grasping on to thought, see that and release it. Rest back into an open, aware, peaceful presence. And in this open, aware presence, there is no sense of being anything objective. There is no subject. It is the one peaceful presence without object or subject, where we melt into the one being. None any greater or lesser. Nothing can be added or taken away here. It is sometimes termed as the gateless gate, or it feels like the gateway to freedom. Freedom from mind, thought, emotion, and commotion. Freedom from the little I. And just as the Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree, And all his thoughts, and mental demons and samskaras arose to distract him from entering complete and utter presence. And he sat and sat. Until stillness. Until peaceful presence melted everything. And there was only this. And gently discovering our breath. Rediscovering the subtle movements of the breath in this body. Noticing a deep sense of stillness. Or perhaps the mind is still tumultuous. Or the body is distracted. Accepting whatever is there. All experience comes and goes. There's only the stream of presence that is always in the moment. And ever available, that offers complete freedom. It's almost like riding a surfboard on the edge of a wave. One little thought or a samskara, desire, and we fall off the board. We lose that leading edge of creation where life is happening in the now moment. So be kind to yourself. Allow compassion if the mind is still disturbed. As you gently come back in with breath to the body. Let us simply rest for a few moments in the heart with a sense of gratitude to all the teachers and the masters who have left behind their footprints for us to follow. They've left pointings toward freedom. And when we are ready, we will take these deep into our hearts. And know that wisdom for ourselves. Feeling the whole body now. With gratitude for this opportunity to walk upon the earth, to inhabit this body, and to share and come into meditation together. Take a deep breath in and out. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. It's always a beautiful thing to tune in and come together in this profound way of silence, really, and allowing everything to be as it is. Being brave enough to relinquish our resistance to presence, to be on that razor's edge. Or the image that came to me was the surfer just riding that. We have a lot of surfers here, riding the edge of that wave and becoming one with that wave. No fear, no resistance. I imagine as soon as that comes in, they would fall. That sense of freedom that comes when there is nothing but this. And I feel deeply grateful for the inner desire to awaken at an early age in this lifetime, and all the pitfalls along the way, many, many times that we fall and scrape ourselves up and continue on. And each time, a little bit of wisdom can be taken from the pain through which we seem to need sometimes to learn, to get our attention, to bring us back to that deep, heartfelt seeking for freedom, when the pain in the heart is so deep. That we desire that melting of the separate ego to the oneness or divine spirit, however one would like to express that. There's so many different ways, and language only creates barriers because our minds are attached to certain ways of expressing. But we feel it, don't we? And this time of Wesak is when we can really take time to do some meditation, to sit in the garden. Today was the first bit of sunshine we've had here for quite a long time. It's been like a monsoon. But we went and sat and walked on the beach and just felt the energy of that. It was beautiful. So I wish you all a blessed full moon time. And I'm going to pass over to Terry now, and he might have something to share before we end this special Wesak Satsang. And I will have this available up on YouTube tomorrow if you want to do the meditation again. Go ahead, Terry.
Well, can we take this emptiness out into our daily lives? This is the question. Can we live in that apparent life of challenge, activity, influences, in a state of complete acceptance? We're all pretty well convinced by now that there is a state of consciousness which can function in the present moment, which is a place of total acceptance, because it cannot operate in the present moment without that acceptance. If there is any effort to want to improve the situation or to make oneself better or to awaken, that is the very mechanics of the very thing that gets in the way of that presence, that awakening, that effort. Because what we're saying is, I am not awake. I need to awaken. I'm not present. I need to be present. And those are the mechanics of the mind. To work towards something which is not happening now because I'm not there yet. Something has to happen in order for me to be able to be present, in order for me to awaken. And this is the way the mind functions, and it's natural that it functions in that way, because it's not something that we are. And so any effort to awaken is just becoming reabsorbed in that process of which the separate self is made. Which is the story of the past projected onto the future. So there is a state of consciousness where there's a kind of freewheeling, where there's no effort required. And this is what we want, and so we cannot have it. The wanting prevents the having of it, the being. We're already awake, we're already here. We just have to see through the illusion of the separation. And then it's already here. There's no how do we see through the illusion of the separation. That is the mechanics again. We just have to keep going through that process of seeing through until it becomes a freewheeling motion of effortless seeing through. And that seeing through becomes the being.
We could call it effortless living. And this seems to be how life can be, effortless living. So I wish you all a beautiful full moon. Take time to go out, and we can actually see the moon here tonight because the clouds have parted, which is wonderful. You guys on the other side of the planet, you'll be able to see it tonight there as well. Yeah, here's to effortless living. Namaste.